Hi everyone, I hope you all. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin once again. Thank you for support. Okay, we got the CoinsKid group. So whenever this chart gets really overextended and starts to come back and loses support, okay, and it creates these beautiful waves. Like for example, you got one here. You came up, you came down, you came up, you came down. At each point, when this come down, check the Bitcoin chart. I'll drop it in a comparison soon. But you can see whenever this sort of goes through this retracement, this this impulsive move to the downside before coming back up, and again another impulsive move to the downside. This is where crypto goes on this kind of insane run, okay, which is what I do anticipate. I think that what we're going through here is cycles, and I think that from 2022 into 2023, I do think that crypto is going to be relatively bullish, and that's just something I'm looking at, okay. And I think that once this wave 4 correction's over, this expanded flat correction on Bitcoin, then I do think you're looking at a kind of big final fifth wave push before a sort of extended bear market, and sort of changing the cycle of crypto as we know it, that every 4 years in and out cycles that we're used to. I do think that those will sort of fade out, and I think it'll just work on this multi-year bull and bear market basically, that's started to come to fruition since the end of 2018, the previous bear market. So that's my own opinion anyway. That's what I'm looking at, because I think that what we've done, we've come up in an impulsive move from 2018 into 2019. I think we've had a corrective move on Bitcoin and crypto from 2019 into 2020, and then I think from 2020 into 2021 was this big impulsive move here that we all got involved with, and a lot of you, the subscribers, got involved at this point as well. And then we've been in this big corrective phase from 2021 into 2022. So one thing that we would want to see here, if we was expecting some kind of run, is for the DXY to be really overextended, just like it was there, because when this starts to come down historically, if I look at the chart from 2016 into 2018, there January, that's when crypto went on that mad run, okay. And this is when crypto went on that previous mad run last year, which a lot of you are all involved in. So right now, given this chart and the structure right here, if this starts to come down like it has before, then this is where you could be set for a beautiful 2022 leading into 2023. And then my impulsive move into 2023 and that final fifth wave would come to fruition. And this is where I do think your likes of the XRP are going to shoot up, the chain link, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, all those kind of projects. They're going to get that sort of that big push and that big surge in the markets here for them. When, like I've always said to you, you buy blood, you buy fear, you buy depression, and that's exactly where we are right now. I honestly can't say that the low's in. I wish I could, but one thing that could signify that the low is potentially close here is the DXY. So we're keeping an eye on this, because like I said to you, those that buy big green candles get big red dildos. You basically get shafted, and this is really far away from the EMAs. So if, for example, this does come down like this, okay, because you can see it's coming back down for support, you're getting your big gap in the EMAs, like I've said to you on in multiple crypto videos. When you get really overextended from the EMAs, do think about your position, because you are going to come back. You are going to come back for support. It's normal, it's healthy. If you hold that support, fantastic. If you lose it, that's where you get resistance and you start to come down, okay, like you did here. Get overextended, come back down, turn the EMAs into resistance, get your def cross, you're coming down. Just there, turn your resistance into the EMAs, you get your def cross, you're coming down. And it works in any chart. Just look at it, okay, the historical data. But with Bitcoin and crypto, it's so much more volatile, okay, than these slow moving indexes. So anyway, this is in the perfect position. If we was expecting some kind of mania run for Bitcoin and crypto, this is in the perfect position. I would not necessarily be expecting it if you was down here, okay, unless obviously you turn this resistance and you start to roll again, but you can see down here you found this support and you've come back up and you rallied up to these key resistances right now. So you could say you're caught in this kind of channel for the DXY, okay. Obviously, anything can happen. We can come down to support here, bounce, and then continue. And with that, like I've said to you so many times, if we do start to see that on the DXY, this is where you will start to see crypto come down, okay, and especially Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin turns that 55 EMA on the monthly time frame into resistance, that's very negative as well. So, like I've said to you so many times, if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart right now, so looking at Bitcoin on a monthly time frame again, it's always good to zoom out, like I said to you, because you can get a broader view of what's going on. Like I said to you, whenever you lose the 20, you do head on down to the 55. So you can see that's the sort of target at the moment. Are we going to get there? Is it a case that we crab along and then find support off it eventually and start to come up and create some kind of beautiful little bottom down here? Possibly, and like if that does happen, I would imagine that certain altcoins are going to get absolutely battered at this point. Not that they've been battered already, but you've got some kind of A, B, C correction here, okay? And I personally think that this is just one big wave 4 correction. This was a big wave 2 correction, and like I said to you, I think that this cycle here is completely different to previous cycles. That's why we've not necessarily had this big blow off top yet, and this mania phase of the bull run, which I do think is coming, and it's this final fifth phase here, this push, pretty much like that off of 55, come back to that support. Big push up for 55. You've been in this ABC irregular correction. You've come down to the 55 almost, and with that, if you start to come up, you can see how you've got a 1, you've got a 2, you've got a 3. This is an irregular correction wave 4, and you've got that big wave 5. Okay, like myself, you know, myself and a lot of people last year when Bitcoin was doing this after finding this support last summer, you know, given the previous cycle history here, we was all expecting some kind of big blow off top at this point, and it never came. So this is sort of showing me, and it's rearing its head, that this particular correction here, you know, it was a big, nasty correction that we not necessarily had in previous bull markets. This is why I think that this cycle is completely different. I've gone through this with you before. That was some kind of ABC correction within itself. You've come down an A leg, you got a B leg, and then you got a C leg drop, ABC zigzag. And this looks like some kind of expanded flat irregular correction. You've got an A leg, you've got a B leg, and right now you're putting in a C leg. So once this correction's over, like I said to you, corrective phase of a bull market, not necessarily a heinous, horrible, long drawn out bear market. Once it's over and once it's done, I think we're looking at this beautiful impulsive push to the upside. Now, let's say, for example, we do come down to the 55 EMA. You know, over the next couple of months, we sort of find support, if we've not found the low already. If we do come down to that 55 EMA and we roughly bounce off it around about 24, 25K, then the next target for Bitcoin would be this. I'm going to show you. Your next impulsive move would be at a bare minimal $130,000 with the overextension to the 2 fib and potentially the 2.272 fib, which I'll drop in eventually. But you know, that would be an overheated bull market just there. And you know, you won't believe me, but would you believe me here if I've said to you, look, you're looking at impulsive move off of 55 and you're going to go to at least a 1.618. Okay, so when you was all the way down here and you were starting to trade back up, when you was below 10K, I would have been dropping the fibs onto you saying once you break this high here, you're looking at impulsive push, a minimal to the 1.618, overheated to the 2, and a potential 2.272 target. So those targets were met, you know, and people are in disbelief. But this is what I tried to say to you. The market moves in waves, you know, and it moves up and down, and to go up it has to come down, and to come down it has to go up. Obviously they get disillusioned that you're going to continue to the downside, okay, when you're coming down, or you're going to continue keep going up to the upside when you're going up. The market has to come down to go back up. Look here, coming up, get overextended, came back to support, found support, coming up, get overextended, get really far away from the EMAs, came down initially, found support, came back up, and came back down. Okay, so some kind of little bull trap and kind of irregular ABC correction just there for Bitcoin. Now there's absolute zero guarantees, but one thing I don't want to see here is this 55 turned into resistance, because if you do start to do that, that's really, really negative. Okay, and you can see that you start to come down, you've got the EMAs acting as resistance on the monthly time frame, and with that, I do not know where your bottom is, because you're doing something you've never done. You're losing the 55 on the monthly, turn it into resistance, and you're rolling basically on a monthly time frame, which is very negative for Bitcoin because it's never done it. Okay, so that is obviously a scenario, but is it doing it yet? No. But if you do start to lose the 55, that is really negative. So my forecast here basically is that from 2018 we've put in one impulsive move. From 2018 into 2019, so we put in an impulsive move. From 2019 into 2020, we put in a corrective move. From 2020 into 2021, we put in an impulsive move, which you all became a part of, okay? And then from 2021 into 2022, which is right now, we put in this big irregular ABC correction, just like we did from 2018 into 2019, okay? 2019 into 2020, sorry, I do apologize. And then from 2022, where we do bottom out sometime this year, whether or not we've bottomed out already, then we're looking at this impulsive move leading into 2023, where I do think that you've got this big impulsive move, and I do think you've got this kind of prolonged bear market where you don't go on to make the highs for a very, you know, quite a long time, 3 or 4 or 5 years or whatever, and the previous cycles, you know, the halvening cycles and things like that are actually broken at this point, okay, and we'll have to adhere to this new structure that Bitcoin's creating. So this is just a possibility. Obviously it's not an exact scenario. It's something that I've got in mind, and I've had it in mind since you came up here, that you've got this kind of irregular correction just there, and you're looking at this beautiful impulsive move leading into 2023. So, you know, down here I would have been saying exactly the same thing as I'm saying right here. You know, this is opportunity. Buy blood, buy fear, buy depression, because that's what you do. You know, that's what you do in the space. I've taught you that much. It never feels like opportunity, you know, but that's what it is. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.